Okay, ladies and gentlemen and ladies and gents, just completed a video entitled "A Bank Account That No One's Talking About." Now, this is going to be the part two of that video. We're going to do a little bit more in explaining this to you all so that you get it. Ladies and gentlemen, again, everybody's known that the banks create another account. In the creation of that separate account, all of the payments made by someone into their mortgage account, that's being made as a positive, not a negative. So it's being credited to the person, not debited from the person. Here's the problem. We don't realize that's our account. We've talked about it. Many of us have done videos on it. Now, again, you guys who are new, you're going to have to go back and look at the previous videos of people who've talked about mortgages and how mortgages are done in America and how the accounts are set up with mortgages. You have to do your research first. None of these videos are how-to, except for the hour style money orders. And if you pay attention, there were tons of videos on hour style money orders, almost 100. Well over 60 videos on how to do the hour style money order. Many of those videos are not around any longer, but the majority of them are. Okay, as of this date, this man has done more than 1,000 videos. I know it doesn't seem like it. You don't see all of them on the web channels because most of them were taken down. We had an idiot who, well, let's just say he was an idiot. Okay, but that's not the issue here. What I want to do is we're going to talk about the bank account in the next video. I'm going to talk about those individuals doing videos claiming that they know something when you can listen to them and tell they don't know nothing. And then people doing videos and telling you guys you have to go to this website or that website. They're doing it for advertising because they need to make money. And some of you are so gullible and so desperate that you're going to pay them. Go ahead, look on my channel. See, I'm not asking y'all for a dime. Except for the people who are working on the birth certificate process. We told you we would bring you along and we will keep you ahead of everyone else. Most of you have received an email. Well, all of you should have received an email with the new updated affidavit. Now, remember, there are two affidavits. One is the POA, and the other one is the actual memorialization affidavit. You received instructions on what to do with that. That is not being put out publicly. That's only for you guys. Do you see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? They're paying for a service. Am I knocking the other guys for their services? No. Am I knocking them for their videos, for their services? No. No, not knocking them at all. Okay? I'm not saying what's good for them is good for us and what's good for us is good for them. I'm not saying that at all. And I'm not saying because they did something we can't, because we did something they can't. What I'm telling you is you all have to use discretion. There are a lot of shady people out there, ladies and gentlemen. We have some people, and it's caused some problems. Some people were taking our process, and this has been happening for years, but recently some people were taking our birth certificate process and offering it to other people and then acting as a middleman, acting as a subcontractor when they never asked us for our permission to do so. And we started noticing the same email address being used for 3 different people with 3 different names, and we knew the states that they grew up in and lived in, no way in the world. And then the person communicating with us is not the person who the email is from. In the last video, I talked about Fort Minor. Fort Minor! This is, remember the name. I don't want anybody to forget mine. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that gentleman was charging people way more than we were charging them. And they weren't doing anything. And so we had to get rid of that problem. There's been a lot of interference with our organization. A lot of things that have been trying to stop it from getting started. It's a good thing that we did a soft start just to see how many forces out there were against us. We were able to root out some of the forces even from within. I think people know about the thing about having enemies from within, enemies from without. Well, we had enemies from within that we had to remove. Trying to cause damage, trying to slow us down, trying to interfere with our helping you. We're going to be updating you guys on all the security measures for the organization and the accounts and things like that in the videos at that website. Not going to tell you what website because that's not for you. That's for the people who go to that other website. Like I said, I am not that website. That's an organization that I'm a part of, but I am not going to be mentioning that organization much more on this channel because the channels are two separate channels. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, again, because there is a separate account, because there is a created account, you have an account number, you have a routing number for that account. We're saying utilize that account the same way you would utilize the coupon at the bottom of the stub that they send you for your mortgage. Utilize that account to pay that account. The funds are already there, and we're saying utilize. Now, when I say we're saying, please understand we're not telling any of you to do this. We're talking to the people who already know what they're doing, like I said on the last video. What we're suggesting is that you utilize that other account the same as you would utilize that coupon that we talked about in another video, and you would pay the mortgage down through the account that was actually set up, that's already set up as a positive, so that when you're offsetting or setting off into that account, the monies are being debited from the account, paying off that mortgage. That is a phantom mortgage, but nonetheless still paying it off. Okay, so that's what the video that I just put up, that was the main focus. Now, we hadn't done that before, ladies and gentlemen. I came up with that idea. You didn't hear that part. That was at the beginning of the video. That's why you kept seeing me. Well, you didn't see it because I didn't highlight that part of the video. I just deleted the original one, and we posted a copy of the original one showing where the volume came in because I was messing with the volume. That's why you couldn't hear any music in the background, although I was referring to music a moment ago. We've taken care of those technical difficulties, but please understand that was 5 o'clock this morning that I did that video. It was 4 o'clock this morning that I came up with the idea that I'm just now revealing to you all. Again, the idea is not to keep information from you. We're supposed to be growing together. So I'm going to continue to put the information out there for the people who know what they're doing. Not none of you who are desperate, because those of you who are desperate, when you're desperate, you make mistakes. When you're desperate, you get in trouble. Many of you are getting in trouble because you're desperate, using a Federal Reserve account that you didn't know nothing about until you started watching a video, and then all of a sudden you want to become an expert and start doing whatever they're saying in the video. What sense does that make? So I'm not talking to those of you who did that. Those of you who were so desperate that you wanted to sit up there and risk going to jail. Ladies and gentlemen, the young lady is in jail and the young man is in jail who was promoting that more heavily than anyone else. They're in jail for a specific reason. They were interfering with the commerce economy of the United States. That's called economic terrorism. And I promise you, I don't know what they've been charged with specifically, but I guarantee you if you look at the charge, it's going to say something about interfering with commerce, interfering with the economy. That's economic terrorism. Those are code words for economic terrorism. And if they really wanted to, they didn't have to make the trial public, and nobody needed to know where those two were, because they would be classified as terrorists. Now, I mentioned to some of you the young lady, everybody's calling her Tootsie. Tootsie is not a name. I'm sorry if I say this to some of you and you take offense. Morons. Tootsie is the letter of the... Look, let me do this. Gotta show it to you. Whenever you guys see for somebody's name, this is Ready or Not by Lauryn Hill and the Fugees. Ladies and gentlemen, do you see this right here? This is not a last name. This is what this is, so that some of you will get it. Now, does it make sense? It's because when they read the person's signature, sorry, I got some hair on my screen. Don't know how I got hair on my screen. That's why it moved, because I had hair on the screen. When people sign their name, let's do this so that you guys will see. We'll get rid of the period. We have to go here, and I just have to find one that is, nah, not that one. Give me a second. I got tons of fonts, ladies, gentlemen. Tons of fonts, as you can see. We ain't even halfway down yet. These are just the outlandish fonts, the rare fonts, the new style fonts that most people don't have. Well, I has them. Over 4 gigabytes worth of fonts. So I get to play. Ready or not, you can't hide. Gonna find you. Nah, not that one. I need one that's gonna show you what the courts are doing. And this was just some judge being stupid, and the rest of the judges following behind him because this judge had an idea. Nah, not that one. Not that one either. If I can't find it, I know it ain't gonna be this one. So if I can't find it real quick, I'll try about one more. Not 3 more, but 1 more. So I just have to pick one that's actually cursive, because we're looking for cursive, because usually when people write it, they write it fast. They write it in cursive. There was a cursive one. Yeah, I said 1 more, but that one was too ugly. I have to find something that at least looks like it's cursive. Oh, come on, where are my cursives? Oh, curse you! Okay. Well, as you can see, I'm not going to find a cursive. All these fonts and none of the cursives look like a cursive. When I look at it all the other times, all right, we're going to use this one. When somebody signs their name UCC 1-308, and we're going to reduce the size. Oh, I'm sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, that's me pushing down on the pad. And so now I got to wait for it to catch up. That's what I get. I've been doing that lately. All right, stop already. All right, we're going to reduce the size to about, let's go 8. So when somebody signs their name, let's say they just put their initials. Like in the past, I put my initials, and then I put UCC 1-308. You guys saw that, right? Well, what they do is they take this, because they know that those are numbers. Pay attention. That's where you get the Tootsie. That's the stupidity of the courts. So the person's last name is not Tootsie. This is them using that as an alias. Okay? And the fact is, the person is not there challenging the identification. They had an identity hearing and the person didn't challenge the identification. Ladies and gentlemen, an identity hearing, you get to refute all of the paperwork that they put in. Any pictures they show, you get to refute that. That's a picture that's taken some time ago. That's not a person. That's an image. That's not the person. That can only be used as a secondary identification. And I'm sorry, because it's only one-dimensional and the person is three-dimensional, then it can't really be used as an identification. The person would have to put together and formulate the proper argument for that. But you can get past that hearing by challenging the identification and demanding an identity hearing, where they actually bring forth identification of the individual. Not papers, but eyewitnesses who can identify that person as who they are. And believe me, that no one will be able to identify that person as whom they're claiming that person is. Okay, no more straw man. No more, that's an infant. You can go into court and say that's a minor, and I'm not a minor. You can't bring in a birth certificate saying I'm not a minor, but you can most certainly bring an affidavit that has a picture on it. You can put your picture evidence against their picture evidence and say, now mine is signed by a notary. Who's yours signed by? So I now introduce this as evidence. So I'm going to need more than just your pictures. Oh, by the way, they introduce pictures. They better be certified. Oh, and by the way, nobody can certify a picture. Isn't that interesting? They can't. So you guys need to start challenging the identity issue. Demand an identity hearing. Okay? And if you're in, no matter what court you're in, always demand a probable cause hearing. Probable cause hearing is basically a preliminary hearing. In some states it's called probable cause, other states it's called preliminary. But you want to see all the evidence. All the evidence. And then you challenge the evidence immediately. Why? Because none of the evidence is verified. It's just pieces of paper. Don't you people get it? None of the evidence is verified. They're just pieces of paper. And if you don't challenge the evidence, it gets to be used against you. That's what's happening to you guys. You're not challenging the evidence at the very beginning. But this is not supposed to be about court cases. This is supposed to be about explaining to you guys about the process that we were bringing up about using the so-called the accounts that are set up that are not hidden. We are aware that those accounts are there, but technically it's a hidden account. So I'm putting this out there for the people who know how to do research to do research. And then once you do your research, you'll find that you should be able to write on that account for that account, not write on that account for another account. Now, technically in the future, you might be able to write on that account to pay off other debts because remember, the house is already paid off. So that's your funds. Okay? Those are your funds, but you don't know that because you haven't done the research. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just some information that I think might prove helpful.